I want to bring the audience up to speed on the facts around it. So something terrible happened in Charlotte, North Carolina. Undoubtedly, most of the audience has heard about it now because if you're listening to this show, you have the right news sources. It's something that happened a couple of weeks ago, but it just hit the press. You wouldn't know anything about it if you solely read or watched legacy media outlets. Okay, nothing. The young woman's name is Irina Zarutska. And this young woman was 23 years old. She was born in Kyiv, Ukraine. And she came to the United States in 2022 with her family trying to seek a better life. They were fleeing the war that Vladimir Putin unleashed on the Ukraine. And she was murdered here in Charlotte, North Carolina on August 22nd on her way home from a job she had obtained at a local pizzeria. Now, this woman is absolutely stunning. She looks like Marilyn Monroe to me. She could have been modeling. She could have been doing anything to make money, but she took a job at a local pizzeria and was showing up doing shift work, just trying to pay her bills and make her way in the United States quietly and without much fanfare. And then this past Friday, surveillance video was released showing her being stabbed to death by a man with a long criminal rap sheet and multiple encounters with the criminal justice system. That video was released to local news outlets. We're going to walk you through it and the timeline of how things unfolded. The suspect's name is DeCarlos Brown Jr. He's 34. Listening audience, we're showing the video here. He's in a red hoodie, sweatshirt. He's a black man with long black dreads. He was on the train first, sitting with no one in front of him, next to him, or behind him. He is not seen on the video having any interaction with any other riders, just sitting alone, but looking a little agitated at times. At the next stop, Zarutska boards the train. She is a white woman with blonde hair, and she's in her pizzeria uniform wearing a baseball cap. She sits in the row right in front of Brown. She has her phone with her and headphones in her ears. Just a side note, honestly, like in today's day and age, it's dangerous to have the headphones in and not know what's going on behind you. I'm sorry to say it, and I'm not blaming her in any way, of course, but just as a safety measure, just don't do that. You just don't know. You know, I'm sorry, but there's too much crime in America right now to do that. Keep your ears open so you know what's happening about you. Unfortunately, that's our reality. She's minding her own business. There's no interaction between the two of them whatsoever. They ride along for another 4 minutes with nothing happening. Then at 9:50 p.m., Brown is seen reaching into his hoodie, pulling out a pocket knife, a small pocket knife. This is zoomed in video, courtesy of the local CBS outlet. You're seeing him unfold it. And you see him unfolding the knife, but no one notices a thing. Out of nowhere, truly, it seems like it's out of nowhere, Brown then stands up. He pulls his arm back as far as it can go to gain force. And from behind, with the young woman completely unaware of what was about to happen to her, he begins stabbing her, including 3 times, at least once, directly into the neck. She did not stand a chance. She had no opportunity to defend herself. She clearly had no idea she was in danger at all. According to a local reporter who saw the full footage, Zarutska immediately grabs her neck and looks at the suspect as he walks away. The local news outlets, which received the video from the Transit Authority, did not release to the public the moment of the attack or what happens in this section immediately after, which honestly, I don't understand. It's not their job to protect us from the facts. If you want to say, you know, we on the CBS Evening News aren't going to show you the exact moment of violence, that's an editorial call. But for all of the news outlets to not release it at all is strange to me. It's an incident that happened, and the specifics of it may matter. And we actually had a hard time at getting our hands on the full video. Now, it's unclear if riders around the victim even noticed or saw the knifing. Again, everyone's on their phones. No one's paying attention, and most of these people appear to have headphones on. I get it. You want to zone out. You don't want people talking to you. You kind of want to like do your own thing. But it's truly a safety measure to have your headphones off and be able to listen and hear what's going on around you in these public transit vehicles. The local CBS affiliate reports one passenger did react, others followed, but we don't see exactly how it unfolded, the reaction. We are shown Brown's actions after the attack. Now, the whole thing goes down in 30 seconds, so this guy has got to be not long after. He walks up to a train door. You see blood dripping onto the floor, apparently from the knife, which is still on him. Some riders notice the blood, but it appears they really have no idea that an attack just happened. Brown then takes off the red hoodie. He appears to wrap the bloody knife up inside the hoodie, and Brown is then shown leaving the train. Per local CBS, he left the train again about 30 seconds after the knife attack. That's how quickly this whole thing went down. And seconds after Brown leaves the train, you do hear someone far off in the background scream, "Oh my God," and scream the F word. Here's that moment. It certainly sounds like somebody's found the victim. Someone did call law enforcement. Spectrum News in Charlotte reporting transit security guards were on the train at the time of the attack, but in the car just ahead of Zarutska's when she was attacked. Brown was arrested a short time later. You're not going to be surprised to hear the guy's got 14 previous court cases in Mecklenburg County, which includes Charlotte. He was sent to prison in 2015 for robbery with a dangerous weapon, but was released a year early in 2020. This past January, he was arrested for misuse of the 911 system. And here's where things get interesting. During that incident, Brown told police he had man-made material inside his body that was controlling him. Per the ABC local outlet in Charlotte, a magistrate judge allowed Brown to be released from jail without paying anything on the written promise that he would show up to his next court appearance. Then in July, another judge ordered a mental health evaluation, but again, he was allowed to be out on the streets. He clearly was not right in the head. And you had not one, but two judges recently, a month before the murder, send him back out there. Go ahead, right back out there. There are so many angles to this story. It's an absolute disgrace that the national media remains silent about this. Political news outlet Axios even has the gall to blame MAGA Republicans for covering it. They're upset about the numerous surveillance cameras in America now that happen to catch these incidents so that the MAGA Republicans can turn them into an issue. That's what they see this story about. I mean, guys, Rich and Charlie, remain with me. There's just no question in my mind the story for the media is about many uncomfortable narratives that they'd rather not touch. Chief among them, a black man hacked to death, a young, beautiful, white, blonde woman right on camera, and they don't want to touch it because that plays into a narrative with which they're very uncomfortable, Rich.
Yeah, absolutely. So the media has had two modes here so far. First, ignore the story. Second, blame conservatives for paying attention to the story. And we just shouldn't look at these crime stories through a racialized lens and only pay attention if it's a white perpetrator, alleged perpetrator, and a black victim, and ignore them if it's reverse. That's perverse, it's wrong, it's un-American. And by the way, where was the Daniel Penny in this train, right? New York City spent all these resources trying to nail that guy to the wall for doing the right thing and stopping potentially something like this happening. And the Charlotte mayor has been a disgrace in what she said. She's emphasized, she said we can't arrest our way out of this and we need more mental health services. So this guy was clearly a schizophrenic and was allowed to walk the street and be homeless and menace people and then commit this act of homicide. The mental health service should have been arresting him, putting in jail, ascertaining he had mental health problems, then sending him to an institution where he's not released until he's either taking his meds and or it's ascertained he's okay and can be in the community again. You cannot let seriously mentally ill people just wander the streets. It's terrible for them. It's terrible for public order. And in these rare cases like this, it is a dire threat to other individuals. And I'll just add, the mother seems to have done the right thing. As many families like this with untreated schizophrenics, they don't know what to do. You know, their son or daughter is moldering away in the basement. They go to sleep at night hoping their son or daughter won't stab them in their beds. It's happened to Cray Deeds, by the way, a politician in Virginia several years ago, untreated son with mental illness. So they have a choice. You know, do they just go along with it? Do they kick the person out of the house? That's what the mother did here. Do they make up a story to try to get the police come and arrest them and hope they'll get no help? And it's because for the last 50 or 60 years, we decided to empty the institutions, and we don't have the right to say when someone's crazy. We don't have the right to tell them you have to take your meds, and we don't have the right to tell them, no, you're not sleeping on the streets, you're not wandering subway cars. We lost that social self-confidence, and I despair. Megyn, this is the same set of circumstance. Every single subway shover in New York City, it happens again and again and again. And I just despair of when we'll actually get it and do something about it.
Yeah, no, I've said many times in the wake of these school shootings, and I'll say it again here, we need more facilities to which loving parents would willingly send their children to have them committed, even an adult child like this guy was. We need some of the money we're shipping to God knows where or spending on God knows what here. Some of the savings maybe from Doge could be redirected to build such a facility to which a loving parent would willingly send their child. Because even if we loosen the spigot on institutionalization, it's not going to help if it's basically a hardcore jail that a loving parent would say, well, I don't want him to go there. I know he's going to wind up dead there. But if we can build a facility that is large part jail, but also mental health institution that's not completely awful, we'll have more parents calling it and shipping it there. And I do think taxpayers would pay for this. I really do.
Of course. Charlie, did that mother want him homeless on the streets? No, it's because there's no alternative. So she kicked him out of the house, and apparently he had also assaulted his sister. So this is just a terrible situation. We know the solution, you just need the will to do it.
It always follows that pattern. Charlie, Rich mentions the mayor, the Charlotte mayor. And very interestingly, this woman's name it's basically Vile. Her name is Vile. It's Vi Lyles. That's her name, Vi Lyles. So I'm just going to call her Vile, because that's what she is based on this response she's given. She's a Democrat. She's been mayor since 2017. She last won re-election with 68% of the vote. And this is the statement she released right after the attack. She did not use the victim's name, even though it was out there. It wasn't like a matter of privacy. The parents knew, everybody knew she'd been killed. It happened on August 22nd. First and foremost, my thoughts and prayers go out to the young woman's family and friends. While I do not know the specifics of the man's medical record, what I have come to understand is that he has long struggled with mental health and appears to have suffered a crisis. This was the unfortunate and tragic outcome. Tragic incidents like these should force us to look at what we are doing across our community to address root causes. She sounds like Joe Biden trying to solve, quote unquote, the immigration problem by addressing root causes, which is just a dodge for doing absolutely nothing at all. We will never arrest our way out. Issues such as homelessness and mental health. Well, we will never arrest our way out of issues such as homelessness and mental health. I want to be clear that I'm not villainizing those who struggle with their mental health. What's the matter with this woman? Vile, that's not the issue. Or those who are unhoused. Mental health disease is just that, a disease like any other, that needs to be treated with the same compassion, diligence, and commitment as cancer or heart disease. Our community must work to address the underlying issue of access to mental health care. Charlie, please help me. Please help Vile.
All right, well, where to start? So I agree with everything that you both said on mental health, but I would note that the cases that people bring up in opposition to the position that you both outlined usually involve somebody who's quite clearly crazy but hasn't really done anything. This person we don't need to get even to the mental health question, because this person had been arrested for breaking and entering, for robbery with a firearm, for possession of a firearm as a felon, for assault, for material threats. So that side question of who is crazy and who gets to decide doesn't need to be reached here. The person should have been charged and convicted of other violent crimes. The idea, as a result, that we can't arrest our way out of this is preposterous. That's precisely what we literally should have done in this case. That's what should have happened in North Carolina. We should have arrested our way out of this murder. That person should not have been free. Now, the mayor, Weil, as you put it, reminds me, you know that scene in the Truman Show where Truman's wife starts doing a commercial, essentially, and he says, "Who are you talking to? Like, what are you talking about? It's so incongruous to the moment." I don't know why she's saying those things in response to this case. It's utterly incongruous. It almost feels like she's a hostage. Like she, as a result of political affiliations or sort of ideological brainwashing, is mandated to spew this garbage about not villainizing this person or understanding we need to look at root causes or wanting to spend more money on mental health or the unhoused. That is not what is important here. And if she or progressives or Democrats in general think that this view is held only by so-called MAGA Republicans, they're out of their minds. There are two groups here. There are groups who are obsessed with this strange language, the language that you just echoed. And then there is everyone else. This is not left-right. This is not conservative, progressive. This is not Democrat, Republican, Northern, Southern, whatever. This is every single person and then the weirdos.
When inflation jumps, when you hear the national debt is over $37 trillion, do you ever think maybe now would be a good time to buy some gold? Well, you'd be right. Whether as a hedge against inflation, peace of mind during global instability, or just for sensible diversification, Birch Gold Group believes every American should own physical gold. And so they created something special. Until September 30th, if you're a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 in free metals on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility and start the process, request an info kit right now. Just text MK to 989898. Plus, Birch Gold can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and you're still eligible for a rebate in free metals of up to 10 grand. So make right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate up to $10,000 when you buy before September 30th. Text MK to the number 989898 to claim your eligibility and get your free info kit. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.